So what I was going to show here is just how to replace that baby instead of just saying how to remove it. So you can see here I've removed the console just like the other videos will have shown you, and it's kind of a mess in here. And this is one thing you'll probably want to do, is put some double stick tape in order to make sure that that stays there, because otherwise it's just really flimsy. That's your console blower, and that's going to go through here. And the other thing is, once you remove the other piece, just like everybody had been showing you, this is where you got to dig it in. And what I've discovered is, if you're going to put the new piece in, what you can do is put it this way above the bottom of the foot dashboard, or the foot area here, and you can get it above here, and then it's not as hard. If you just try to get it past the dash over here at the bottom, it's just not going to fit. So fit it up here first, and then you can wiggle it around into place. And the other thing that I'm going to recommend, and when you're doing this, is actually put some tape on here. Just some double stick tape would be perfect, but I haven't got that, so I'm just going to double back just some regular tape here and put it under these washer head screws, and that'll hold them in place, so that way you can get your ratcheting wrench right there during installation. And I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. So now you can see the actuator here. I put some double stick tape on each one of the screws. Not some double stick, but some double back of regular tape. So now when you try to install that and you're wiggling it around, they're not going to fall out, causing some frustration. So you can use that little trick. The other thing that you need to be aware of while you're installing this is the old position was probably stuck in cold, so it kept on turning down and not turning to your heat. And that means that the top of this cross is actually going to be pointing way down here. So right now this is pointed in a heat position. So what you're going to need to do is, number one, turn your heater to roughly about here, about 3/4 away over to the heat position, because this won't be all the way on the heat position. It has to go to right about here to be in the heat position. So right now it's about 3/4 of the way, and you can compare it with your other actuator just to see what the difference is. But if you take that little arm and see if it moves the blend door, then you know it's going to work. And what you have to do is put this into the hole under the dash so that it fits this shape. And what's going to happen is, when you rotate it into position, it's actually going to open it up, and so it's actually in the heating position. So you'll install it like this and then have to turn it so that the screws can be mounted. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment too. And as you can imagine, it's a little difficult here to record holding the phone and instructing, but here you can see I'm trying to put this above the actual foot panel here. And like I said, with the actuator itself, you can see the screws way down here closer to the camera, and now it's gone into position. And it has to rotate way up like this in order to get to the screw holes, but I needed that shape to fit in there first. So now what you're going to do is push that into position, because that's the right place, and you can see it's moving the blend door, which is perfect. That's what we want it to do. But we have to fit it this way first, and then rotate it into position and fasten it. So since I can't do both, I'm going to go ahead and do that and come right back. So to get at that top screw, you might have to disconnect almost the entire center console here, your heater panel console, and then the screw will be located right here at the end of my finger, just under this shelf here. So right down there, that's where the last screw is, and you're going to want your ratcheting wrench to fit down in here and tighten that up. And from there, you should be all set. Just go ahead and reconnect that with the dial settings at three quarter there of your heat, because that's going to be where it's at. And crank it on, test it all before you close everything up. And we'll try that right now. So last thing, if you turn on the key and your air conditioning doesn't work or wherever, but you got heat, so you're halfway there, or more than half I guess, you got to plug that in. Plug that unit in right there. And it's awfully hard because the human hands aren't meant to bend that way, but eventually you'll get it in. So plug that baby in, and start the car here. And with the air conditioning on, you could feel the cold right here. And if you turn it over to heat here, turn that off, you should be able to feel some heat out of there as well. So that's it. That's my little helpful hint on how to insert that or replace that blend door actuator, not just take it out. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Go ahead and like the video and share it with your friends. Thanks a lot for watching.